Hi, I'm Lisa Anderson, President of LMA Consulting Group and host of Supply Chain Chats. I'm thrilled to be here with you today to talk about inflation, supply chain disruption, how the two relate, and what we can do about it. So first up is oil and gas prices. Since early in 2021, they have been escalating, causing problems with the price of food to manufacturing and supply chain to the price of a simple family vacation. For example, fertilizer has doubled to quadrupled in price since 2020. First of all, gas is used as a feedstock for fertilizer. Next, China in 2021 stopped exporting a particular type of fertilizer to the rest of the world, and they used to be 30% of the world's supply. Next up is the Russia-Ukraine war. And Russia is a big exporter of fertilizer. So as you can imagine, the prices have shot up and the supply has deteriorated since the war started. Now Russia has stopped the gas pipeline to Europe. And Europe was a supplier of fertilizer, and they have turned overnight into becoming a purchaser of fertilizer because of the gas pipeline being shut down. Not only that, but it's caused other ripple effects that you wouldn't even imagine because of the complex supply chain. But there are now beer shortages because of the shortage of CO2 because of the lack of fertilizer production in Europe. And even in the US, CO2 is limited in supply and causing issues with the bottling of beverages. It's a complicated world we live in. And now fertilizer has further complications with a potential rail strike in the US because, as you can imagine, fertilizer is transported via rail. So if the rail goes on strike, of course it's going to shoot up prices and we're going to have more supply shortages of fertilizer. So that was a good example to use. And now let's talk a bit more about the rail strike. Rail is 30% of the US transportation system. And so it will have a significant impact of $2 billion with a B dollars per day of economic impact if we have a rail strike. Now, what is this strike about? Well, the workers for the rail companies want a 14% immediate increase in wages. They're also looking at around a 24% increase over the next few years, as well as other benefits, healthcare benefits, etc. So if the rail strike is averted, there's no doubt that our prices for rail are going to go up because we have higher labor costs at a minimum. Now, if the rail strike is not averted, we certainly have this $2 billion of economic impact a day, which is quite significant. There are 7,000 freight trains that will not run in the US if there's a strike. That would require 460,000 trucks to replace that type of volume. That is obviously significant and not doable because we don't have that kind of equipment nor the drivers. And rail affects everything from the auto industry to food to industrial supplies and other goods that are transported via rail. So significant possible supply chain disruptions as well as inflation could occur. So what should we be thinking? We should be thinking about who our suppliers are, where are they based, who are they dependent upon? Are they in Russia, China, Taiwan? Are they dependent on rail? How about our suppliers and our suppliers' suppliers? Somewhere in our supply chain, we are bound to be affected. So what kind of backup plans should we be putting into place? Should we be thinking about transporting over the road? Should we be thinking about flying? What should we be doing? Should we be looking at backup suppliers? Should we be looking at backup processes? Should we be looking at reshoring? I also would recommend that we look at sales, inventory, and operations planning processes. That's a much better way to predict your future revenue so that you can also better align your supply to your sales so that you can better serve your customers. You can prioritize who you're serving. Actually, that's another solution. Are you looking at which of your customers and your products are profitable and which ones are important for where you're going in the future with your business? Because you may need to prioritize and reallocate. Another thing is that you should be looking at technology. Are you looking at implementing additional technology so that you can bring your prices down without impacting your bottom line in a negative way? There are many things to be looking at, and stay tuned for additional supply chain chats where we'll talk about these topics, and look at our website for a plethora of resources, including a new landing page surrounding SIOP, which is LMA Consulting Group /SIOP.